Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Ecos Blacks here, and we're here for kind of a different type of video. PRL Brazil penultimate round of the season, and as you can see here, we are actually on the wet tires. And you're probably wondering why. Well, that's because we're actually going to do a last to first challenge. This is actually going to be my last race of the season. So, yeah, we are, because for some reason in F1 they don't wait for you or postpone the races when you're busy, like NASCAR, so, I mean, it's whatever. So yeah, that's going to be the final race. As you see, Suzuki put it on pole. We are back in 20th. So yeah, just kind of confirming we are going to do the last to first. And see the strat here? It's not really the strat, but we're at least going to try to go like lap 24 if possible. That's the plan. And yeah, now you get into this, and obviously this being pretty much my last race of the season, I want to have some fun and just basically kind of, it was almost like a kiss goodbye to this tier, because I've been in this tier for pretty much all PRL besides one race. So here we come.
I know these guys back here don't have the best awareness, so let's try to get
to the formation lap. And lights out, and away we go. And we get a pretty good start, getting by the McLaren. Alpine has a pretty rough start, and we go to the inside of the Aston. My teammate locks up. We nearly run into the back of him, but we decided to back out, and as they nearly make contact, well, they did make contact in front of us, but that helps us get by the Haas, because them all just kind of stacking up, and you can see we have a hard runner in front of him, so I'm in front of us, so I'm already trying to get by him, but my teammate makes a big mistake, so I kind of had to back out and just let him go. And now we're just gonna try and stay behind the McLaren for now. But I was thinking, let's try it again going into this corner. As you see him, he has a bit of a mistake, so we're gonna try and do what we did last season and send it down the inside, but we're not quite far enough along to keep the momentum up. So we just give him the spot, and we're gonna wait to our next opportunity, which was gonna try to be now. As you see, we are using the ERS, and I don't think he's on the ERS right now, as we're going to go by him. I don't think he used ERS at all. It didn't look like he defended, so he pretty much let us by. But now, moving on to lap 2, my teammate runs into the back of the Alpine, has a bit correction, so we basically got a spot for free. We're going to defend the inside just in case he tries to dive bomb it, and yeah, and we're actually trying to lock up Constructors in this race if we are 96 points, I believe, ahead, because maximum is, I believe, 50, 43 for first and second, and you get 2 points for fastest lap, I believe, and then 1 for pole. So yeah, that would be 96 points as Frosty sets the fastest lap. But you saw me get by Frosty there, but I had a mistake trying to stay on Morris, but I ended up making a mistake. But we are starting to get really low in the battery, so, or Rusty, sorry, not Frosty, his teammate Rusty. We got by, and now we're going to try and move on Morris to move inside the top 10. As you can see, there is a big train of cars, and the leaders are literally just ahead of these big train of cars. So we've made up a lot of time. So we're doing what we need to do. We just got to make sure we keep it out of trouble, and we especially that we needed to do at the start, not getting wing damage and playing it cool. So now moving on to the main straight. There's a spin behind me in the McLaren, but anyways, we're gonna try and get by Morris here. And I kind of thought maybe I should just wait, but yeah, I didn't really want to waste time as going through here. You complete the pass. But now, are we going to be under attack as we go down the second DRS straight? And yeah, he didn't really seem like he was attacking us, so I think he just kind of let us go. So now moving on to lap 6, there's a spin between Suzuki and a Ferrari, and Bronco and Frosty seem to have been either affected by that or collected in that, and from the looks of it, it just seems those two are fine. And actually, now that I see, looks like Bronco probably did get a little wing damage. I didn't notice until about right here, I believe, when I really noticed how he got understeered. So we're just gonna go down his inside because I don't want to be stuck behind him, and you know, respecting him for leaving the space. He didn't really fight it too hard, so I mean, he fought it, but you know, I think he fought it as hard as he could without really, you know, doing too much with his wing damage. So moving on, now we're gonna try and get back in the DRS of Frosty, because the soft tires are still kind of decent right now, but I think our pace is pretty good as we get into the DRS. And I actually was going to try to overtake him on the main straight, but I was just too far back, as you see his light blinking. So we're already thinking about heading into turn 1, and so I'm just making sure I can stay close. But moving here, you can see a McLaren DNFs, and that means,
Of course, you spawn, man.
safety car is out. So now we have a strategy on our hands, because everyone can do just medium soft to the end or just go to the hard tires. But you can see here, Drain and Destroyer stay out while the rest go into the pits, and I did not understand that call at all. I mean, this is basically a free pit stop to get on fresher rubber than me. And as you see here, watch this. You see Destroyer
What is Destroyer doing?
turns or goes off the track, and yeah, I don't understand what he was doing. He reported Drain after the race, and actually Drain got a 5-second penalty for that, or 3-second. I think it was 5 though, which I don't understand. But yeah, again, I mean, that's a stewards decision. In my opinion, that really wasn't Drain's fault. Destroyer went off the track. There's just nothing Drain could have did there. I don't really see. But anyways, onto the safety car restart though. We're gonna try and get by Destroyer here, as he is going to. You can see he is pushing it a bit, and he is on the battery right now. But since we have the slipstream and probably a little bit lower wings, we should be able to kind of reel him in. But now he's off the ERS, so we're gonna go by him now, because he actually didn't put up too big of a fight at the end, which I ain't complaining. You know, he let us by, so it's all good with me. But you can see here, he's actually going to try and fight us again. So we're going to go defensive and keep that spot. And he runs into the back of us, but again, we keep the spot. So now onto the main straight for this very lap. You see now we're going to try and attack Drain, but I'm not actually going to try and overtake him in turn 1. You see me turn my DRS off. That's the plan, is to overtake him on the second DRS straight. So we run it a bit wide and make sure we get a pretty decent exit. And we really do. We actually hit those 3 turns pretty nicely. And now we're just gonna go by him as we move up into first position. So the last to first is looking pretty good here so far. And moving on to lap 14, now you're gonna just see the gap. And if we continue to build, but you got to remember those guys are on old sauce. So Drain actually pits, Destroyer stays out, but now a few laps later, Destroyer decided to pit, and now Frosty, the gap was 1.8, but he got down to 1.5. So that kind of showed me that he did have some pace on him. So especially with those soft tires, but he does have a 3-second. But spinning win retires, and that means another safety car. So, but this come at a pretty bad time because we're looking like what 16 laps on these softs, which definitely can be done. I mean, 16 laps to go is actually time you probably would pit for the softs if you wanted to, but yeah, I think around 14 is what I was planning on, at least for a safety car, but 12 was what I was going to do if it was going to go green all the way. So yeah, but at least it helps us keep the lead. So and it actually was good for us because we actually were first coming out the pit, so that means we basically are first with the soft tires, which is what we need to build as big as a gap as possible. So we are good on that standpoint. But you can see the safety car, since there's a Aston and I believe a Haas, and I think another car that was not caught up with the field yet, we basically went another lap. So we're basically going to have 16 laps on our tires. I don't know if F1 count the first lap or not, like NASCAR does, but we don't count the first lap in NASCAR, so I'm assuming 16 to go here. But we're warming up the tires as Oliver actually retires on the main straights, but we punch it, and yeah, it actually wasn't that good of a start because, yeah, I mean, it was kind of short, so a short run to turn 1, so it didn't really affect Frosty too much. But now is this, we gotta try to put these softs to the use, and you can see here we did that lap, pulling the gap, but still the work isn't done. We still got to keep going because I was kind of predicting that these softs would probably go off around about 10 laps. So we need to make sure we have the gap to where we need it to be. So, and we also do want to go for fastest lap. As you see, Frosty with his 3-second time penalty, you know, that will help us. But Turtle Hopper doesn't have one, Destroyer nor Jesper has one, and you know, I felt the pace could be good enough so I could stretch it to a big enough gap. But obviously, I didn't know how big the fall off would be. But you can see here we are setting personal best, which is good because now we can obviously get get an even better lap for us. So it is going to be a 1:08.7, 2 tenths faster. So that's good for us, and probably more than likely could be fastest lap. But now we pay attention to the gap as it just increased and increased and increased and increased. And you know, obviously with the soft tires being pretty young, I was able to kind of build the gap. You know, and honestly, I wouldn't be like around 10 to go. I was like, you know what, I wouldn't be mad if a safety car came out because then I could just put the softs on. But moving on to the final lap, really nothing else happened besides just increasing our gap, and you know, that was just pretty much it. Destroyer did get a 3-second, but Frosty got a 3-second, and you know, Mr. Hex having a pretty good run in 5th with 6 seconds, but he's still having a pretty good run. So the lead Merc. So yeah, that's pretty big for him. As you see the tire icon there on the bottom right. But I mean, we did everything we needed to do. We needed to do in this last race. Strategy probably got a little shaken up, but I think in the end, obviously it's going to be worth it, as it seems we are going to probably win this race. So moving out of the coming out of the final corner, it looks like we are going to win our 6th race of the season, and we are going to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. So we do a little bit of Max Verstappen at Austria, or at least try to. This to put the cherry on topping, and Turtle Hopper and Destroyer will round out the podium. But see here, these were kind of the results. But you'll see, Dran leaves and actually gets a 20-second time penalty, which that's actually happened at Britain with Suzuki, because he left and that glitched the game out. As you see here, we got driver of the day, which was pretty cool. And fastest lap race winner, didn't get pole obviously because we didn't qualify, but yeah, so celebrating here and with Brits. So yeah, that pretty much concludes our season in PRL. I had a really fun time. 6 wins, 7 podiums. I think I got 2 or 3 poles, and so yeah. And Constructors champions with Red Bull, and even came back a long way to get back in the championship fight. But as you guys basically should know by now, I'm not racing Bahrain because going to the NASCAR race, the Coca-Cola 600, so I won't be able to race Bahrain again because they for some reason don't postpone it. But yeah, that's what they chose to do, so I was like, whatever. But yeah, so yeah, I think though I had a lot of fun this season. It was definitely probably I learned a lot about this season, especially going to Premiere. It helped me get faster and also work on racecraft and just so many other things. But actually isn't the end to this video, because to my surprise, I was so shocked when I saw it in the incident reports. But I got reported for doing a last to first, which I didn't understand at all. It's a challenge, but obviously some people see it as cocky, I guess, which is their problem. But you see also Destroyer reporting Dran, which Dran did get a 5-second for, but you can see Destroyer said he wasn't off the track, but he's clearly off the track right here. So yeah, I don't understand why Dran got the 5-second, but yet again, it is what it is. So that's pretty much going to be it for me. Yeah, I could post another league I have. It probably won't be on Fridays. It'll be probably Tuesdays, even though it's on Tuesday night. So I have to post the race a week after it happened. But that's pretty much it for me. Ecos Blacks here. See you guys on F1 2022 PRL.